is this thing? I think everything's wrong. Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me again. My name is Wilky, and you may ask yourself a couple questions like, why the hell is this guy holding his face into the camera? Why haven't there been any videos? And why is it a bit awkward, I guess? Well, the third one is pretty simple. I haven't used the webcam all too often, so this is not really something I'm used to. And I'm still trying to do so, similar as when I started making the comedy video. Was pretty much the same thing. If you watch one of my older videos, goddamn, the comedy is horrible. But you know, you have to learn. That's pretty much the only way, and I'm pretty sure most of the other YouTubers slash streamers had similar issues at the beginning. So yeah, why am I using the facecam or webcam for that matter? It's not really facecam. Because firstly, I don't have, like I said, I want to use them more, and secondly, I don't really have a game or footage to carry my voice. I could use some random ass footage, but it doesn't really make any sense because this video is not particularly about any specific game, rather about the whole channel and how the things might be changing in the future. So I think this is a better format on how to do so. And yeah, before I start going into all the points I have listed here, if you're not interested in hearing me rambling on about for probably 10, 15, 20 minutes, I don't know how long, I'll make a TLDR at the end of the video or somewhere in the video, and I'll put an annotation and the timestamp into the description. So if you don't wanna waste your time listening to all this elaboration explanation of stuff, just click on whatever is popping up or whatever feels more comfortable for you, and I'll probably sum it up in a minute or so. So yeah, I perfectly fine and I perfectly understand that some people don't want to listen to rambling 24/7. So yeah, if that feels more comfortable for you, then feel free to do so. Anywho, firstly, why haven't there been any videos? Well, that's a pretty, well, I guess simple reason, and Black Desert, I don't really play it anymore. I'm pretty sure you figured out by now. Blade and Soul suffered pretty much from the PvP imbalances and turned into PvE game. And C9, well, I'm pretty sure it's evident that this game is PvP-wise pretty wrecked, to put it in that terms, but PvP is literally non-existent. So this is not really something I could go back into. And what does this say about my channel at the current things? Like, for me as a person, I basically, whenever I play an online game, I play to compete. Like, I don't really play to win, not necessarily tournaments anymore, because, well, I theoretically I could probably still do it, but I'm not getting younger. It's not like I'm an old geezer, but you get the point. Like, most of the esport players are probably, on average, 5 years younger than I am. So this is not really the ideal I should be following anymore. Also, I don't necessarily see myself as the biggest esport player. I do like participating in some community tournaments, some random tournaments, and that's fine by me. But I don't need no for Dota International or some LCS or ESL, whatever you want to call that, or ESL one, whatever. These tournaments, they don't really bother me that much anymore, and it'll only be less in the future. So I kind of have to like look after myself and look for a thing that I might want to do in the future. Now, the second thing is, especially in the MMORPG sector, PvP is more and more and more being pushed into the background. It's pretty evident that a lot of this focus is not on PvP because the big money makers or the big whales or cows that could be milked for their money are usually not the biggest PvPers, but rather they enjoy PvE, they enjoy customization, they enjoy community and stuff like that. So it just makes, from a business point, it makes a lot of sense to cater to these people rather than to the PvP community because, like I said, this PvP community is getting smaller every day and more picky, noisy. We tend to rant a lot when things are not good, which is actually a good thing, but people think it's a bad thing because they only see complaints and they think they're unreasonable. So it's a double standard, I guess, because if people complain because everybody disagrees, it's good. But if like one part of the community complains about something that is bad, like based on facts, bad, but it just affects in particular the PvP community, all these slash Care Bears PvE people will go on the fence and say, but it only affects you because you can't be a dickhead anymore, you can't be hunting Lolivs anymore, whatever the reason may be, they just throw the reason away. So this is not really gonna work very well. So looking into the future, that I can only see PvP only subsiding more and more and more and playing a less important role in MMORPGs. So this is not certainly something I want to put my ass into because it might eventually kill the channel. Even though it's not really big, I still like doing it. Not as a job, not as a profession. I'm not gonna die if I ever had to quit making YouTube videos. But I just don't think it has to end this way, and it should end because I'm too lazy or unable to find new content. Now, the second thing is I've peeled my eyes on Lost Ark for at least 2 years, and with the recent footage of that being showed, uh, I've gathered a couple things. Now, firstly, there seem to be a 30 man raids or something like that, like random events like rifts, or these Chaos World thing. I think they're Chaos World portals, something called. It's probably due to change because of translation or something. But basically, like random events that will take up to 30 people, which is basically like a PvE challenge, like a random event. Also, there's gonna be a PvP arena, like a random deathmatch, from what I learned, in a 3v3. Although this is pure speculation, I believe most of the focus is not gonna be lying on the PvP. It's just gonna be in there for the sake of having some kind of PvP competition in there, similar to what it was in, for example, Victor Vran or even Diablo. But you know, people don't play this game for PvP. And this leads me to another reason, because this is like Lost Ark is probably the next and maybe the last MMORPG I'm peeling my eyes on. Revelation Online did not really fascinate me that much. I might check it out, but I'm certainly not gonna buy a founder pack, and I'm certainly not gonna go full no life on it because I don't like twinking. I don't like the items you can buy already, and it's just being an Asian RPG. It might go pay to win. I'm not saying it is. It might very well be not pay to win at all. It might be really great. It's just based on assumptions and based on past experiences, especially looking at Black Desert, how quickly it swayed over from we're not gonna go pay to win, we're almost pretty damn pay to win already. And I know people are gonna go on the fence, Black Desert is not pay to win. Yeah, but it's steering inevitably pretty hard in that direction. And whoever doesn't see that is, well, either blind or part of the culture, because apparently these people like to get dumped on and like to even it seems weird. The MMORPG community is pretty much the only community I know of that is remotely okay with something being slightly pay to win. Any other freaking player-based community will go on the fence so quickly if they ever start doing shit like that. But for some reason, for MMORPGs, well, yeah, no, for some reason that's fine there, but we're not gonna elaborate on that all too much longer. So with that being said, PvE is probably going to be more important in the future. And even though I play for PvP most of the part, I do enjoy PvE if it's well made and if it's not completely tedious, completely dependent on your class, gear, or party composition. Like if you can do stuff alone, or you need only like 2-3 people, or you can do it with randoms, or you can make up for somebody playing that, then I'm perfectly fine with it. But if it's just like a gear fest and literally just a damage check to see if my gear is good enough, then that's not really what interests me. Really, that just bothers me, and I don't really like that. So with that being said, what I'm trying to say here is that I will probably go for more PvE content. What that means is basically, I don't know, like I said, currently I'm not playing a MMORPG. I'll go quickly over the games I currently play and what this might be in terms of content. And also, like I said, PvP might die out in MMORPGs. I don't know, maybe like not die out completely, but it's probably not going to be the focus. So it's probably going to be plagued by imbalancings, pay to win, lags, desyncs, and the whole plethora of things that could go wrong. So yeah, basically let's just leave it at that. Why? What am I currently playing? Currently, I'm back to Warframe, which is my main contender in terms of PvE content because it does PvE really great. It is basically probably the best example of how the journey is what makes this game fun rather than reaching the goal, but the journey to the goal is what is entertaining. And I played this game pretty much since closed beta back then, so I have a fair amount of knowledge and gear, but still there's always a lot of things because I have these on and off breaks. And yeah, this might be my next stage on where I try to actively portray or like pursue videos and make PvE videos, make guides and stuff like that, maybe even like funny montages. The second thing I'm playing, I finally got talked into playing League of Legends. Yes, everybody who knows that I'm a Dota and slash Heroes of New Earth guy. I did start playing League of Legends. I think I'm level 24 at this moment. I'm not too active, and I'm still pretty much on the learning process, so there's a whole bunch of stuff I have to learn, the rune system, the mastery system, stuff like that. That's something I'm completely not used to. Even though playing Smite and Strive, I'm used to the AP80 system, but the runes, masteries, and stuff like that, and not knowing all of these champions, does prove quite a significant disadvantage to me. Am I going to make videos on that? Maybe of some fails or funny things. Actively playing? I don't know, maybe not. Maybe. It's something I cannot really say for sure. This is not really what I can say for certain. What else I'm playing? I'm playing Smash for Wii U, or Smash 4 for those who play it on the Wii U. I think it has a built-in streaming feature or something, but I don't have a capture card, and I'm not really that good to be making videos on that, I think. And I'm pretty much just playing it casually with a couple friends, so that leaves me with a problem that I usually speak German on these videos. So that would either mean I would have to make a separate series that is German only, or I'd have to get them to talk English, which is a bit awkward. So probably not gonna happen. And what else do I play? I clean up my Steam library from the Steam sales, from the Humble sales. And does that mean I will do some slash let's plays, playthroughs of single player games? Maybe. If it fits the theme, if it suits my current roadmap, my current content, why not? It might be a good alternative and it might mix things up for you, and for me as well, for that matter. Also, I did stream like in Verbis Virtus, if you remember, I think 1.5 years ago. That was this game where I had to use my voice to cast spells. I might actually redo this now that I have a cam and a proper microphone. I can probably do it now, and you can see me doing funny faces when I pronounce these spells. But something like that, I can see myself doing that on YouTube as well. Regarding that, I also mentioned, well, that's pretty much all for the gaming part. Maybe I'll start playing different games in the future, I don't know. Regarding streaming, why have I not been streaming? Well, why have I not been streaming Black Desert, you may be asking yourself. Well, the reason for that is simple. When I was playing Black Desert, I was in one of the bigger guilds, or not one of the biggest guilds on the server. And on our TeamSpeak, we usually sat around with not 2 to 3, but usually like 10 to 15 to 20 people on one channel. And this sounds like a lot of clusterfuck, and it wasn't actually that bad. Like, if people restrain themselves a bit and don't just go yelling out everything, then it worked pretty well. And I enjoyed myself sitting in there, and I cannot see how that would have worked well in a stream. So I never really bothered streaming Black Desert for that matter. Also, Black Desert is a very stream unfriendly game because usually action is very swift and quickly, but also quickly to come, quickly to leave. So if you're actively looking for action, you might not be able to find it. So this makes it a bit of a tedious task to get proper content. So the other reason is I don't usually play games these days for longer than 1 or 2 hours, which makes streaming a bit difficult, unless I would switch games left and right, which I'm not sure if that's something very commonly done on streams, because I don't really watch streams myself, so I can't really comment on that. Also, I play a lot of games with my friends, and the majority of them, excluding one, I speak pretty much only German with them, for the reason that some of them can't really speak English. Like, they could, but really badly or poorly. And it's just really awkward to speak English with people you normally speak in German with. So this is probably not gonna happen unless I make a German-only stream for my German viewers, but that would alienate pretty much everybody else who cannot speak German. So this is this is probably not going to be a thing. So streaming isn't that easy for me, and if I stream, I usually want to stream for like 2, 3, 4 hours or even longer, and actually get some content out there and build the community, build the build the viewer base, and interact with you guys. So I cannot really say when streams are gonna happen. They will happen at some point again, like they did in the past a couple times, but not all too often. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all I wanted to talk about, and it is roughly 17 minutes now, so that wasn't that bad on my guess. So I think I pretty much said all. I probably have forgotten something, but before I ramble on, I'll pretty much go to the TLDR part now. So why haven't there been any videos? Pretty much I don't play any game that follows or that suits the current content stream I did on my channel, but I will cover that later in the second part. Why am I just not showing anything else? Because I think it is kind of unfair to just like go from one side completely the opposite direction without actually telling you or doing something. It could be done, but I think it should be done in a more communicative way, where I just pretty much communicate what I think about things and why there has been such a long break again. What am I currently playing? Warframe, Smash for Wii U, League of Legends, and a bunch of Steam single-player games. What is going to be the next game I will make videos about? Probably Warframe. It's not set in stone though. Will I stream? Maybe. It's a bit difficult for me because I usually play with friends that don't really speak English, so this is a bit awkward for me. Secondly, I don't really play games for that long periods of time. Like, I don't really play games for longer than 1 or 2 hours. I usually take a break or play something different. So I'm not sure if switching games so frequently can be incorporated into a proper stream. And yeah, I think that is pretty much all about the TLDR thing. And oh yeah, well, what else I should be TLDRing is I believe PvP is going to be subsiding in MMORPGs lately and in the future as well, especially with Lost Ark, which I have my eyes peeled on. So I will probably have to switch over from almost only PvP to at least 50-50, if not even more PvE/guides, and then just a tad bit of PvP. Anyways, before I ramble on about even longer, thank you guys for sticking along for so long. I think it was over 3 years now. Black Desert did give me a pretty decent boost in subscribers. I'm losing my points here. So I don't want to alienate you guys, but I want to be open about this, that the content you've seen in the past may not be what you get to see in the future. And yeah, like I said, I'm very glad for the community I've built so far, for the support, for the comments, for the feedback I get every time. And just like with anything else, if you have any points, if you have anything you want to get out there, want to ask me, want to add something I did bad, even if technical things, like sometimes my volume is a bit bad, I'm pretty sure the lighting in this room is pretty damn shit. I'm not gonna lie there, but that's the best I can do without completely over-illuminating myself. So this is just the things I have to work with for the moment. Anyways, a big thanks to everybody who followed me so far, also to the new people, also to the people that just recently stumbled upon my content. I'm very helpful for everyone and for everybody who's here, and I'm very glad for every comment I get to read, every answer, every question I can answer, and also things I get to hear that help me improve and yeah, make this a bit more enjoyable because after all, the content is for you, for the viewer to make their lives easier, make them smile, help them on their journey into the games. What else not? So with that being said, hopefully see you guys next time, whatever the content may be, and I'll try to make a video within this or next week. So keep your eyes peeled on that. I'll leave my social media as usual in the video description as well. So yeah, thank you guys for everything so far, and yeah, hopefully see you guys next time.